Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Monday, January 26th, 2015. If you want to follow us on Twitter, go to CATEX TV. There's a big storm bearing down on us. There'll be more on that later in the broadcast. Meanwhile, in reinsurance news, some very big news occurred. It came yesterday on Sunday. Axis Capital and Partner Re have agreed to merge. The deal is a $1 billion merger of equals. It's going to create a company with combined gross premiums in excess of $10 billion, and it's going to break into the top 5 ranks among global reinsurers. The joint statement came out yesterday. The two Bermudan companies said the deal has been unanimously approved by both boards. The CEO of Axis Capital, Albert Benchimol, is going to take up the position of CEO of the combined entity. Benchimol has been with Axis now for 4 years, but he had been previously with Partner Re as the chief financial officer. It seems as if Costas Miranthas, who's the current CEO of Partner Re, is stepping down immediately. There's not going to be any room for him. Partner Re shareholders will end up owning about 51.6% of the combined company, with Axis shareholders owning about 48.5%. The combined company will have total capital of more than $14 billion and cash and invested assets of more than $33 billion. This is going to be a monster company. The Monday morning commute coming into the offices along the northeastern U.S. was relatively normal, but even as we speak, snow is falling. The National Weather Service is predicting a crippling and potentially historic storm that can bury commuters from northern New Jersey to southern Maine with up to 2 feet of snow. A blizzard warning has been issued for a 250-mile stretch of the Northeast, including New York and Boston. Meanwhile, the mayor of New York, Bill de Blasio, didn't help tamp the hysteria down when he said this could be a storm the likes of which we have never seen before. Boston is expected to get up to 2 feet of snow. Philadelphia is expected to see about a foot, and New York City is also expected to see about 2 feet. So people are battening down the hatches. Pakistani officials scrambled yesterday to restore about 80%, to restore power to 80% of the country that had been shut down because of a problem with its power grid. Agence France-Presse was reporting that the power failure was triggered by an attack from rebels on a key power line in Baluchistan. Apparently, 2 or 3 electrical pylons were destroyed in explosions, knocking down a cable that comes into the central part of Pakistan. Prime Minister Sharif canceled his trip to the World Economic Forum in Davos. Meanwhile, according to the Pakistanis, major cities such as Islamabad, Karachi, and Lahore were affected. It was characterized as one of the worst power failures in the country's history. Some power has now been restored. The international airports are again operating. It's not yet known how much of the country has been returned to the grid. At least 43 Philippine police commandos were killed in a fierce battle with Muslim guerrillas after launching an assault in which they believe they could have killed one of Southeast Asia's most wanted terrorists. The clash yesterday may have resulted from the commandos' failure to follow the terms of a ceasefire with the rebels, by having failed to notify them of their presence in an area. The Interior Secretary of the Philippines described the clash as, quote, a misencounter. The commandos may have in fact killed the Malaysian bombing suspect, Zulkifli bin Hur, or Marwan. The United States government has a $5 million price on his head. There's no word yet whether or not the attack was successful. There was a 4.8 magnitude earthquake in British Columbia yesterday afternoon, but no reports of any damage or injuries. Hundreds of earthquakes have hit British Columbia in the past month. The San Andreas Fault runs just west of British Columbia. In Greece, the radical left party, Syriza, has swept into power on a historic vote, promising to end years of painful austerity policies. This, of course, is putting Greece on a collision course with the EU, as well as international creditors. The Syriza party and its 40-year-old leader, Alexis Tsipras, won 149 seats in the 300-seat Greek parliament. and they've just struck a coalition with a right-wing Greek party of independence to form an anti-austerity government. Tsipras is a former communist youth activist who's now going to become Greece's youngest prime minister in 150 years. He's promised to end the 5 years of humiliation and pain that the country has endured since bailouts saved it from bankruptcy back in 2010. After the election, Tsipras repeated his pledge to renegotiate the terms of Greece's $269 billion bailout with the EU and the International Monetary Fund, but he struck a more conciliatory note than during his fiery campaign. It's going to be very interesting to see how much wiggle room and negotiating room he actually has. This commentator thinks not very much. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news aside from the weather, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and somehow we will see you tomorrow.